Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another Keelgottime video, and today, because Keel's got some time, we're going to be reacting to disturbing facts about dentistry in history. Don't know if this is the best to watch, as I am getting my wisdom teeth removed next week, hopefully. On my wisdom teeth, they grew like, they say they're impaired, so they grew in sideways, and now it's like causing pain and stuff under here, so yeah, I need to get these boys taken out, man. Taken out.
Disgusting facts about dentistry. Not brushing your teeth is one of the fastest ways to lose them. So, it's quite surprising that our ancestors, thousands of years ago, still had a pretty decent set of teeth. But, whether they actually avoided toothaches, that I'm not so sure about. Given how much pain and suffering toothaches can cause, it's kind of strange that dentists didn't exist in most ancient civilizations. Even in places overflowing with doctors, shamans, priests, spirit mediums, witch doctors, exorcists, and curse breakers, someone who actually treated teeth was nearly impossible to find. The recorded story of dentistry starts with a civilization known for tough times and an even tougher diet. Yeah, we're talking about the ancient Egyptians. Their diet was pretty much 100% grains, bread, and more grains. Sounds healthy until you realize they...
Straight up carbs, bro. I wonder how many people had type 1 diabetes back in ancient Egypt. Bro, that's a long day. Long day. Because diabetes has been around for time, you know. Type 1 diabetes has been around for many years, probably the start of human civilization.
Ground their flour with stone mills, baked their bread over charcoal fires, and didn't bother filtering out sand. The result? Their bread was packed with gritty sand, stone fragments, unknown metallic minerals, and maybe a dash of natural seasoning from unwashed baker hands.
Yeah.
To make matters worse, the Egyptians lived in a world where sand was the main spice in every meal. Keeping grit out of their food was nearly impossible. As a result, their teeth wore down faster than the pyramids under desert winds. Dentistry, though it didn't have a name yet, started to emerge as a survival instinct. That's when we meet a man known as the dental specialist. His name was Hesiod, also spelled Hesi-Ra, and he lived around 2600 BC during the reign of Pharaoh Djoser. His name was Hesiod, also spelled Hesi-Ra.
Sorry, it's just, I thought Buddy in the hierarchy was holding a sniper. I was gonna be like, huh?
And he lived around 2600 BC during the reign of Pharaoh Djoser. Hesi-Ra was not only a high-ranking official, but also had a very flashy title carved on his tombstone, Wur Ibezenjo, which means Great One of the Dentists. This makes him the first recorded dentist in human history. Most dental techniques at the time amounted to shoving whatever you could find into the painful tooth and praying. These things included honey, leaves, herbal roots, plant resin, and even gold. There is some minor debate about whether the gold fillings were done while the person was still alive or added after death to give them a prettier smile on their journey to the afterlife. Nah, but one thing that's certain is that any procedure done in this era was incredibly painful. The first toothbrush appeared around 3500 to 3000 BC, when the ancient Egyptians and Babylonians used chewing sticks or miswak to scrub their teeth. Interestingly, toothpaste was invented nearly 2 millennia before the toothbrush. It is believed that the ancient Egyptians created the first form of toothpaste around 5000 BC. They used whatever they thought might work: powdered bones, crushed eggshells, and pumice stone. It cleaned their teeth, but also left their gums blistered. Although they didn't have dentists in the way we understand them today, the earliest steps of dentistry, however crude and painful, had already been taken. And don't worry, things are about to get much worse in the next part. Who were the dentists of the past? Long ago, many cultures around the world believed that toothache was caused by a worm living inside the tooth, gnawing it from within. Yes, you heard that right. The term toothworm was
Bro, what type of logic? Huh? A worm in the tooth. Really, Egyptians? Really? Y'all minds work different, boy. I have not thought that.
taken literally. It was thought to be an actual worm. This belief appeared in many cultures. In ancient Mesopotamia, around 1800 BC or maybe earlier, a clay tablet was found with a poem about a toothworm, telling the story of a little toothworm asking the god Ea for permission to live in the tooth and eat the bone marrow. And the gods, a clay tablet was found with a poem about a toothworm, telling the story of a...
How do they read that? How you depict that? How are you deciphering that? Really? Like, bro, what? Because you don't have nothing to go along with, like, yeah, this symbol means this letter, or this, if written this way, is this letter. Really? I feel like a lot of shit in history is just made up, bro. People just chat shit.
little toothworm asking the god Ea for permission to live in the tooth and eat the bone marrow. And the gods agreed. In some parts of Africa, India, and Southeast Asia, the belief in toothworms persisted all the way into the 19th century. In medieval Europe, people still believed that a ghostly worm was the cause of tooth pain. Naturally, to drive out the toothworm, we'll need a wizard! Or, more precisely, someone who knows how to cast a spell. In the Middle Ages, such a person might have been called a cunning man, a folk healer, or a wise man. It wasn't complicated, they just had to recite a few magic words.
In the name of the gods, I command you to leave, evil worm. Give back this tooth to the innocent.
In medieval Europe, doctors were rare and expensive, mainly serving nobles, the wealthy.
You know what? I feel like maybe that did work, you know. Alakazam, your tooth no longer hurts. But because everyone there, like, they really believed that that was the method, they truly believed that that was the method, like, the pain probably did go away. They probably didn't feel that because it was straight through belief, probably.
Or the dying, as long as they were rich. But what about common people? Got a toothache? Need a simple surgery? Go to the barber. Yes, exactly. Back then, barbers were a 3-in-1 combo: hair cutting, tooth pulling, and surgery. Why? Because they had the sharp tools needed for surgery and tooth extraction. Meanwhile, proper doctors considered surgery dirty and lowly work, so they left it all to the barbers. Oh ho! A new face! What would you like today? A haircut, a tooth extraction, or maybe abdominal surgery? To boost their professionalism, they gave themselves the cool title, Barber Cert.
When you pull up to your barbers, bro. You pull up to your barbers, fresh trim is like, yo, buddy, I got a new menu. Take a look. Nigga, I pull teeth, I cut hair, I plait hair, I grow drugs, I do surgery. And you can get good conversation all in the one place. Bro,
but they didn't call themselves barber surgeon dentists because dentistry wasn't yet respected and was still an afterthought. Brushing teeth, oral hygiene, or cavity prevention, forget about it. They only cared about one thing. Tooth hurting? Excellent. Say ah and open wide. Unlike medical students, barbers did not attend medical school. They learned the craft through gossip, guesswork, or just yanking enough teeth until they got the hang of it. Dentistry back then wasn't exactly a sophisticated science. It was more like a simple recipe. A tooth extraction tool, a strong arm, and one unlucky patient are all it takes to pull out a tooth. Great! we've got a successful tooth extraction. You'll only need to pay for the haircut and the tooth pulling. And the infection? Ha! That one's free of charge.
Ha!
Between the 15th and 18th centuries in rural European villages, got a toothache? Tough luck. Doctors? Nowhere to be found. Dentists? Forget it. So who's going to take care of you? The blacksmith. Why? Because blacksmiths had big hands, strong arms, a ready supply of pliers and hammers, and most importantly, no fear of blood or screaming. In many places, people even called them to their homes. Hey buddy, my daughter's got a bad toothache. Bring your pliers over.
Okay.
As for technique, there is none. No anesthetic, no sterilization, just faith, saliva, and ear-splitting screams. After the extraction, patients usually either fainted, lost a lot of blood, or woke up with a few extra teeth missing along with the bad one. And it wasn't just blacksmiths. Craftsmen like carpenters and farriers were often invited by villagers to handle toothache emergencies too.
Bro, like, and you don't get no dentures, bro. You don't get no replacement teeth. Back in them days, you had your teeth pulled. Nigga, your mouth will be looking like a keyboard on piano. That's what it would be looking like. Black and white, fam. Or black and yellow. Maybe even orange, depending on who you are and what you've been eating. But yeah, bro, there was no dentures, fam. Your smile is broken forever. Forever, mate. So, damn. Imagine being the prettiest lady in the land, fam. This tough right yasso been killing you. You need that tooth extraction. Called a blacksmith. Gets his big pliers. Big muscles, fam. Yeah. Now you're the toothless bad bitch of the town. You are the toothless bad bitch of the town. You're ranking automatically, bro. I want to see all teeth when you smile. You get me? I don't want to be looking at this piece here, maybe something back here, but this whole gap here, yeah, it's just not. Nah, bro. I'd be sick.
Ha!
By the 17th and 18th centuries, Europe saw the rise of the dentist roadshow, a kind of wandering tooth doctor who treated patients while performing like a traveling magician. Whenever they arrived in a village, they would set up a small stage right in the middle of the market. The crowd didn't really come for treatment. Most people showed up to watch the blood, hear the screaming, and enjoy the spectacle. And just like that, tooth pulling became a form of public entertainment. Some of these stage dentists even had supporting actors. They hired people to pretend to have a terrible toothache, sit on the chair, scream loudly when their tooth was pulled, a fake one, of course, and then get up smiling like nothing ever hurt. A top-tier PR stunt of the 17th century.
Bro, they should have been like charging niggas, bro. They ain't gonna run it up. Especially if they're getting fake actors. They could have made bread.
Tooth extractions in the past had no anesthesia, no painkillers, and definitely no gentleness. All you needed was the ability to endure pain and resist vomiting while blood sprayed like a horror movie. One of the most nightmarish dental tools ever invented was the dental pelican. Thankfully, this device has long been banished from modern clinics because, let's be honest, if dentists still used it today, we'd all rather let our teeth rot in peace. The dental pelican got its name because its claw-like part resembled a pelican's beak. It was invented around the 1300s and is considered one of the earliest tooth extraction tools. It came in many shapes, but they all had the same goal: yank the tooth out with maximum pain and minimum precision. Injuries to the gums and nearby teeth were practically guaranteed. Patients often bled heavily and walked away with a deformed jaw. As mentioned, the procedure was carried out by a barber. The patient would sit on a low stool while the barber stood behind. The patient's head was tilted backward and locked between the barber's knees. Then the claw of the pelican was clamped around the tooth. The barber would start wrenching until the tooth finally came out. Injury was inevitable, even if the barber was being careful. Unfortunately, patients had no better option. The dental pelican was the only way to remove a rotten tooth. Dental pelican was the precursor to modern extraction tools, but 1,000 times less refined. It was popular from the 14th to the 18th century before being replaced by the dental key, a device that was no less terrifying. Instead of opening doors, this key would pry open your jaw. The dental key was also known by strange names such as clef de Garangeau, Fothergill key, English key, and dimple extractor. It was first mentioned in Alexander Monroe's Medical Essays and Observations in 1742, although it probably terrorized teeth as early as 1730. Believe it or not, it remained in use well into the 20th century. Designed like a regular door key, the dental key worked in a simple way. First, the tool was inserted horizontally into the patient's mouth. Then, a metal hook at the end called the claw would be tightly locked around the tooth to be pulled. Once it was secure, the practitioner would twist the handle hard, just like turning a key in a lock. Sounds neat, right? In reality, that twist often caused broken teeth, fractured jaws, and torn soft tissue. The design of the dental key went through many changes over the years. The only thing that stayed the same was the pain. Yes, the pain! By the late 19th century, the invention and popularization of forceps by Sir John Tomes finally made the dental key nearly obsolete. And honestly, we should all be grateful for that. False teeth have existed for a very long time in history, but what do you think they were made of? Certainly not the synthetic materials we have today. Back then, dentures were made of something much more natural, real human teeth. Wearing someone else's teeth was perfectly normal and even common in past centuries. In 2016, Italian archaeologists discovered a 5-tooth denture in a tomb in the city of Lucca. Surprise! Those teeth came from different people. They were bound together with a wire made of a gold, silver, and copper alloy. According to researchers, the denture likely dated from the 14th to 17th century. And this wasn't a rare case. The Etruscans, ancient Romans, and ancient Egyptians all used other people's teeth to make dentures. From around the 1400s onward, teeth became a commodity. Poor people often sold their own teeth to survive. And when they ran out of teeth to sell, they turned to the one group who never said no, the dead. I love you, Mom and Dad. Not long after, professional grave robbers emerged. They didn't steal gold or jewels. They stole teeth. By the 18th and 19th centuries, the teeth of the dead were considered premium materials for dentures. And the peak of this tooth trend came on the 18th of June, 1815 at the Battle of Waterloo. Thousands died and thousands of teeth were revived. With tens of thousands of soldiers killed at Waterloo, locals, surviving soldiers, and...
Bro, you gotta think. There's what, like 20-something teeth in the mouth? 26, is it? Or was there 33 teeth? I can't bother to Google it. But yeah, there's like 20 to 30 something teeth in the mouth. So per person in war, when hundreds of thousands done died, or tens of thousands, however big the war was. It's a lot of teeth, bro. That's a lot of bread.
Tooth merchants rushed onto the battlefield. Not to mourn, but to pull teeth. Most of the teeth were extracted, except for the molars, which were harder to remove and shape into dentures. The extracted teeth were shipped to England, where they were crafted into luxury dentures and sold at high prices. And from then on, they earned a fancy new name, Waterloo teeth. That name was later used for any teeth taken from fallen soldiers, including those from the Crimean War and the American Civil War. Grandpa, your dentures look amazing!
Oh, thanks. They used to belong to 3 young soldiers.
As popular and expensive as they were, real human teeth weren't always ideal for dentures. They could rot, and often, they just didn't fit! The ancient Romans used human and animal urine as mouthwash. Yes, you heard that right. The Romans, with all their brilliant innovations, once believed that urine made for excellent oral hygiene. Why? Because old urine contains ammonia, a powerful cleaning agent, and apparently no one told them that just because something cleans doesn't mean it belongs in your mouth. Using urine for mouthwash and other purposes was so common and normalized that public urine jars were placed around the city so passersby could contribute. And this wasn't just some weird cultural quirk. Oh yes, collecting and selling urine from public jars became a legitimate industry. Naturally, the Roman government took notice and taxed the people who collected and sold urine. Yep, even pee was taxable. Now, let's travel back to ancient Egypt. In ancient times, when you had a toothache but no anesthesia or dentist, you'd turn to the next best thing, a dead mouse. The ancient Egyptians used dead mice to treat toothaches. They would crush the mouse and mix it with other ingredients. The resulting mixture would then be applied directly to the aching tooth. This was not just a random folk remedy, but part of early medical practices. Mice were believed to possess magical or healing properties, especially when it came to relieving pain. Today, of course, I recommend taking ibuprofen and seeing a dentist.
W video, man. W video. Learn a lot. Educational. I actually quite like these little educational videos, you know. We learn shit over here at Keelgottime. We be learning. We be educating. But now, with that being said, man, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Go binge all the videos on the rest of the channel. And yeah, videos dropping every single day, 5:15 UK time. So make sure you pull up tomorrow and every other day. I'ma see you. I'ma be waiting. So peace, love, and prosperity. Catch you tomorrow.